Leanne McAdoo reporting for Infowars.com. I am on Meadowbrook Drive in a beautiful residential working class community right here about a mile and a half outside of downtown Napa. This community is filled with friendly faces and family and a lot of children running around playing. And unbeknownst to them, this entire neighborhood was built directly on top of this relatively unknown fault line that was here. And you can see where the road has just separated into, it was pushed up against each other directly in this area. Sidewalks are about 3 feet high in some places. True to California fashion, some of the children have seen this as their opportunity to have their own makeshift bike ramps and skate ramps, trying to make the best of this situation. And you'll see these lines go directly from this house straight over to the house across the street. And it's like that through this entire neighborhood. Every parallel street that is running along this fault line has lifted sidewalks, lifted homes right off the foundation. People's homes jolted some 2 feet in some directions. And that's what they're seeing here in this neighborhood. Imagine this was your family. Imagine being here and knowing that your home is built directly on top of a fault line. This was just a 6.0 magnitude. At any point, they could get that 7, 8 magnitude that they're saying were 150 years overdue. And that's quite a frightening thought. A lot of these families here are just trying to pick up the pieces, trying to rebuild, ready to move on. A lot of the children were supposed to be in school, but rather than starting school this week, the elementary school had a pretty bad gas leak, and they are actually using the school grounds as a dumping site for people to empty out their homes of all of the contents that they lost, and children are kind of getting an extra day of summer here. But that's really what we're starting to see. A lot of cleanup crews, a lot of emergency response teams out here, and the community just really banding together.
It felt as though a semi hit the side of the house. A tremendously loud shudder. She woke up screaming. We were very, very lucky in that lots of stuff was dumped, but we didn't find any real damage in the home. We're beginning to find cracks now because of the aftershocks, but the neighborhood has been pretty well damaged. People are safe, so it's things that are damaged, and that's always a good thing.
It kind of felt like, somebody grabbed the house and was just doing this, and it was hard, and it was scary, and you could hear noises. Some of the noise was from the earth moving, and some of it was from your things moving. And I lived in San Francisco for 25 years, and so I always put a flashlight near my bed, have slippers. Well, the flashlight just took off across the room. We live on the street right behind this and never knew that the fault or the tributary or whatever they're calling this was right on our street. But we were really lucky, and because, just we're even, 6, 7, 8 houses down, and the orientation of the house and the cabinets made a big difference. The shaking kind of was east-west, and our cabinets are on the north and south walls. So they kind of shook, but nothing opened, nothing fell. This gentleman who was here before was on vacation, and his realtor, and the house was for sale, and he said the realtor went in, and as soon as she opened the door, half the neighbors came with brooms and pail bins and cleaned up. They knew he was gone. I mean, that's what Napa's about, and so we're very resilient.
Today was the farmer's market, and in the farmer's market they had big boards offering, time and service and what you need. And it is that kind of community where the neighbors help each other. So, I mean, again, it's things, thankfully, not lives, and things you can take care of.
How do you wrap your head around now knowing that this neighborhood is directly on this fault? I mean, it's a smaller fault, but I mean, you're seeing it running right through your neighborhood.
What do you choose? Do you choose hurricanes or cyclones or earthquakes?
Or tornadoes, like in Texas.
This is where you live, and you make do with what you've got, and you hope that you don't get clobbered.
Well, the one thing that, and I've lived in San Francisco for 25 years, and I've gone through Loma Prieta, and you just kind of know that, okay, the statistics are such that maybe it's every 20 years or 30 years. I was here in 2000, we had a minor quake. I mean, relative to this is a very minor quake. And you just think, okay, and you fix up and do what you do. This is the first time, at least in this area, Browns Valley, we've seen any really serious structural things like this. So you just have to think, okay, statistically, it might never come back on this fault. And the first one that we had in 2000, after living in San Francisco so long, my first fear is, this is a good one, but is this the big one? The big one. And living in San Francisco, that was literally always on your mind, the big one. You didn't hang anything over your head, anything over your bed. I mean, you really were well schooled in survival. So that was my first thought. Well, San Francisco was fine. This one, I didn't even think. I mean, I was just like, I didn't even think about San Francisco. It was so strong. I thought, if this is what's happening, I'm going to worry about it here. Yeah. So.
And the truth is, you can't live your life in fear. You are where you are, and you hope that nothing will happen, and if it does, it's minimal, and you help your neighbors, and you move on.
Leanne McAdoo reporting for Infowars.com.
General, what do you think about the FBI saying that there was a terror alert on Monday about a potential Fort Hood situation?
The police are shoving people, shoving Alex, shoving the crowd.
Here we go, folks. I'm being assaulted.
Whether it's the radio show, the news websites, documentary films, or the nightly news, InfoWars is the tip of the spear.
Is this another false flag stage attack to take our civil liberties and put more homeland security while sticking their hands down on pants on the streets?
It's up to us to set brush fires in the minds of men and women everywhere. And that's what PrisonPlanet.tv is designed to do.
You watch, the Assad regime is going to be blamed or accused of using chemical weapons against the so-called rebels.
What we see now is a war against reality. It's a war against the truth.
It's more vital than ever that supporters of freedom become members of PrisonPlanet.tv and share their membership with up to 11 friends and family. Visit InfoWarsNews.com today. Become a member, share your membership, and help take the InfoWar to the next level.